Hi, this is KeatonCar89 with another one of my reviews. This is a modified Neca 18-inch or quarter scale Ironman Mark 43 Battle Damaged Edition. As you can see, the figure has 3 LED lit places, and I'll just scroll down the figure and I'll show you some of the details on it, and unfortunately some of the things that are a problem with the figure. I'll start at the bottom. As you can clearly see, it comes with 2 extra hands and they're fisted. There's no LEDs in these, and I'll just show you some of the problems as we scroll up the figure, and we'll get to the first one, which is the hips. Now, as you can clearly see, one leg is more exposed forward than the other, and that's because of just here, you'll notice on the hip, there's a lot more of the hip showing on that side than this, and that's a problem, if you'll notice, with the side disc, that it sits right in the recess there. And on the other side, if I scroll around, you can clearly see quite a considerable gap. I can put my finger between the ratchets. Now, it's not a problem about pulling the legs down, because on the Neca version, unlike the Hot Toys, they don't actually pull down and release, so that's the way the figure comes. The problem is it puts it horribly off balance, so it's leaning back at the moment. Otherwise it would be on a figure stand, which I've had to order. And then this brings me to the top of the figure with a second problem. If you have a look at Neca's painted Tony Stark head, you can clearly see the problem with the eyes. One eye's pointed up, and one eye is pointed directly forward, zombified, kind of looking off into the distance. The paint application on the blood stain is kind of just a little bit pasty. You know, it's a little bit of a quality control issue with Neca, but I suppose on a highly produced figure, that is kind of, you know, to be expected imperfections. But at the price point of this figure at retail, I would expect that to not be the case. Anyway, let's take the head off. It's just sitting just on its neck post. And the reason why I bought this figure was, as you see, as it is, without the face. Because if you've seen my previous video, you'll know that I bought a secondary Tony Stark head, which is much nicer, that I could use with this figure by taking out the neck post that you see and just replacing that with this, housed with the just plastic neck guard that you see there. It will look absolutely fantastic. But that wasn't my first impulse to buy this figure. What I originally planned was for the Tony Stark to go on the quarter scale body, and I'm going to stay with that, but you can't have a Neca figure standing there without a head. So I bought this, which is the Hot Toys Battle Damage quarter scale Iron Man head. Now, okay, let's show what we can do. So we take the neck post off the quarter scale Tony Stark, just drop that over the figure like that, and there you go. You have a quarter scale Tony Stark Iron Man. Now you may think to yourself, well, that head looks a little big. You know, if they're all quarter scale, why does the head look slightly bigger? And the reason is because what Hot Toys have done is put a magnetic faceplate on the front, which I'm going to take off, and look at that. Now that is a Tony Stark head sculpt, and that's how I can have this figure, which looks, in my opinion, far better. It's trying to zoom in back on the face, so I'll zoom back in. But as you can clearly see, there you go, that looks far better. And with the Iron Man helmet as well, I know a lot of other reviews on YouTube have said, oh, I wish it came with a different head with the helmet on slightly. Well, that's the solution. Hot Toys quarter scale have released that head. I've been able to purchase it separately and put that on the quarter scale Neca body, and I'm really quite happy with that. Initially I bought this Iron Man helmet just for the Tony Stark figure as an accessory to just hold in his hands with the helmet faceplates covering, so you would just think, well, he's just holding the helmet as an accessory, and I could still do that, but I just thought it would look, maybe, you know, it would look great on an Neca body because I received the head first, and I think you agree, it looks pretty good. Anyway, that's basically it. I'll just turn the figure around precariously. I'm reluctant to continue this video because I don't want this thing to fall over. What I will do is I will take the Hot Toys head off just for safety, and I'll show you the back of this figure. As you can clearly see, he's just leaning up now with his hands, so that will be okay. Just there is where the light switch for the arc reactor comes on, but there are panels that move on this figure like that, and you can actually pop the front vent out as well, like so. And there's another panel just at the back which lifts as well, so it looks kind of like Gundamified, or, you know, one of the Japanese kind of robot suits, and that will happen on both sides, of course. Excuse my hand being in the way. There you go. And that looks pretty good. You know, you could, if you're good with a paintbrush, you can add some extra details on that to make it look a little bit less like a toy. But I'm happy with that. And the shoulders are just a clip on, and they move up and down as you move the arm to protect the sort of the ball joint of the shoulder. So just pop those down. As you can clearly see, there you go. I'll just turn it around again. There's not a lot of movement in this Iron Man body. It isn't like the Hot Toys version that twists and bends. This is completely solid on the waist. Not much tilt. I daren't tilt it, if I'm honest, without a figure stand being supportive. I'll just go to the wrist and show you where they turn off and on. There you go. Just with a small watch battery compartment there. And again with the chest. I can find it with my finger right there. That turns off and on. No, I'm not going to do it without the figure falling over, so I will just leave it. Anyway, this figure was supplied to me by a great company, as I said, called MT Games. I do recommend you check them out on YouTube. The problem wasn't with their service, which was absolutely brilliant. It was with the quality control by Neca themselves. So this figure will need a stand, and once I'm more confident that he's not going to go anywhere, then I can pose him a lot better. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. See you soon.